Picture this. A lone astronaut drifts above the silent curve of Earth. His heart is racing. His oxygen is low. And in the final seconds before everything goes black, he sends a message. A message NASA never thought they would hear. A message that would shake scientists, historians, and philosophers to their core. And when the transmission was finally decoded, it wasn't a cry for help. It wasn't a farewell. It was something no one expected. Imagine you are floating in the cold, infinite ocean of space. There is no wind, no sound, only your heartbeat echoing inside your helmet. Beneath you lies Earth, blue, glowing, fragile. Above you stretch the endless stars, ancient and indifferent. Now imagine that in this quiet, impossible space, a human voice emerges. A voice that should not have been calm. A voice that should not have been capable of what it said. This is the story of Commander Elias Ward, a veteran astronaut, a respected engineer, a man chosen for one of NASA's most ambitious orbital experiments, a mission designed to test new communication technologies capable of sending signals across deep space with almost no delay. But on the fourth day of the mission, something went wrong. Elias vanished from the external camera feeds. His tether drifted loose. His vitals dropped. And for 13 whole minutes, NASA believed he was dead. Yet in those 13 minutes, a message appeared. A packet of data so unusual, so impossibly structured, that at first, engineers thought it was noise or interference, or the dying pulses of a malfunctioning suit. It wasn't. What Elias sent defied everything they knew about human consciousness, space exploration, and the limits of the human mind. Tonight, we dive into that message, the mysteries behind it, the science surrounding it, and why, even today, researchers still cannot fully explain it. So sit back, slow your breath, and imagine the silence of space closing around you as we uncover the astronaut who sent a message no one expected. To understand the significance of Elias Ward's message, we must first understand the world he drifted into. Space is not empty. It is a sea of radiation, magnetic fields, and charged particles. Invisible storms roar across planets. Cosmic rays, high-energy particles born from exploding stars, stab through spacesuits and spacecraft like microscopic bullets. And the human brain, fragile, electric, vulnerable, responds to this environment in ways we are still trying to understand. Astronauts on the International Space Station often report flashes of light behind their eyelids, tiny sparks caused by cosmic rays colliding with cells in the retina or neurons in the visual cortex. Some astronauts report strange dreams. Some report distortions in time perception. A few even describe a deep, overwhelming sense of connectedness, a feeling that the universe itself is looking back at them. Scientists call this the overview effect, a cognitive shift experienced when one sees the Earth from space. It is a moment of deep clarity, a moment when all borders fade, all conflicts feel meaningless, and the universe feels impossibly vast. But Elias Ward experienced something more. Something no astronaut had ever reported. Something that would later be described as a burst of cognitive coherence under extreme duress. To NASA's instruments, Elias was dying. His oxygen was falling. His heartbeat was slowing. The vacuum of space pressed against a suit. He should have been unconscious. Instead, he became alert. In those 13 minutes, Elias saw something. He felt something. Something he needed to communicate, not to a fellow astronaut, not to NASA, but to the entire species. His message was not a voice recording. It was a structured mathematical sequence, wrapped in emotional language, embedded inside a visual packet, a pattern resembling both a distress call and something much more profound. Something that took nearly 8 months to decipher. But before we decode Elias's transmission, we must understand the mission he was on. NASA called it Project Horizon Pulse. The goal? To test a new quantum-entangled communication module, a device capable of sending information instantaneously across long distances by pairing two entangled particles. Though this did not allow faster-than-light travel, it allowed theoretically instantaneous correlation between paired states. Elias and his partner, Dr. Meera Patel, were tasked with evaluating the module's stability in low Earth orbit. Their spacecraft, Horizon 4, carried the module inside a shielded bay. Their job was simple: expose the module to cosmic radiation, temperature extremes, and microgravity, and collect data. And for 4 days, everything went perfectly. Then came the solar storm. On August 14, 2031, a coronal mass ejection, an enormous eruption from the surface of the Sun, raced outward across the solar system at millions of kilometers per hour. NASA detected it early, but its speed was unpredictable. It struck Horizon 4 before they could fully power down the experiment. In an instant, their spacecraft was bathed in high-energy particles. Instruments flickered. Cameras glitched. Power fluctuated. And Elias Ward, who was performing an external inspection, was hit by a burst of ionized radiation before he could return to the airlock. Radiation at that level can alter neural activity. It can distort perception. It can trigger hallucinations, confusion, even a sense of transcendence. But the data Elias transmitted during those moments was not the product of confusion. It was organized, structured, intentional. And what he said afterward, when he finally regained consciousness, was even stranger. He claimed he had not been alone, not in the physical sense, but in the sense of awareness, in the sense of perception. He described the experience as if he had heard the universe itself. A pulse, a rhythm, a message, something so clear, so overwhelming, that he felt compelled to echo it back to Earth. When the message was decoded, scientists divided into 3 camps, each proposing a different explanation. The first group believed Elias had experienced an extreme overview effect, amplified by radiation. They argued that in the final moments before passing out, his mind reorganized its incoming sensory chaos into a profound, coherent thought, something primal and deeply human. But their explanation failed to account for the mathematics embedded in his message. The second group believed that the quantum communication module, still partially powered during the solar storm, might have momentarily interacted with Elias's neural signals. Some speculated that entangled particles might have carried fragments of his thought patterns into the device. This theory, though controversial, was not impossible. Interaction between biological electric fields and quantum systems is a frontier we barely understand. But again, the pattern of the message suggested something beyond simple interference. The third group proposed something far more mysterious. What if Elias had detected a cosmic pattern, a natural signal encoded in the radiation burst? Not intelligent, but fundamental, like the frequency of hydrogen, like the background hum of the universe. A message not sent to him, but revealed through him. A cosmic resonance. A moment where the human mind briefly aligned with the deep frequencies of the universe. A moment when consciousness and cosmos intersected. And what did that message say? It said, "We are a single breath in a vast darkness. Protect the breath." Those were the words contained inside the emotional packet. But around them was more, an elegant mathematical structure describing energy flow, entropy, and an approximation of Earth's fragility. It was as if Elias had transmitted a warning from the universe itself. But Elias insisted it wasn't a warning. It was an invitation. Imagine you are drifting above Earth, watching continents glow beneath soft clouds. Imagine you feel your heartbeat slowing. Imagine you realize that everything you've ever known, every memory, every joy, every fear, exists on that tiny blue world below you. In that moment, Elias Ward said he felt something he had no words for. Not fear, not awe, not loneliness. Something he could only describe as recognition. A recognition that the universe is not silent, not empty, not cold. That it is full of structure, symmetry, patterns, energy, motion, life, potential. He said it felt as if the entire cosmos inhaled at once. A breath. A pulse. A rhythm that had always been there, but that humans never stopped long enough to hear. And as he drifted, losing oxygen, losing consciousness, losing warmth, he felt something unexpected. Peace. Not because he was giving up, but because in that moment he believed he understood something profoundly simple: that humanity is rare, fragile, precious, and deeply connected to the same forces that forge stars. He said the message he sent was not from him. Not really. It was from the experience itself, from the moment, from the universe, as if the cosmos had given him a glimpse of its heartbeat and asked him to pass it on. When NASA decoded the message, the mathematical pattern startled them. Elias had unconsciously transmitted a near-perfect representation of the Schwarzschild radius equation, the formula that describes the event horizon of a black hole. He had embedded constants related to gravitational entropy, cosmic microwave background frequencies, and a ratio that strongly resembled the fine structure constant. Elias had no memory of constructing any of this. He wasn't even fully conscious. Yet the data was undeniable. Scientists still debate how it happened. Some believe his mind accessed deeply learned information under extreme stress. Some believe cosmic rays triggered unusual neural synchronizations. Some believe the quantum device momentarily captured the electrical rhythm of his thoughts. But some, a small quiet minority, believe something else. They believe Elias experienced what ancient cultures tried to describe in myths and meditations: a moment of cosmic unity, a moment when a human mind briefly aligns with the fabric of reality, a moment when consciousness becomes a mirror, reflecting the universe back at itself. And what did that reflection say? Protect the breath. Protect the fragile world that carries us. Because in the vast, silent dark, life is the rarest thing of all. So tonight, as you watch this story unfold from the safety of your home, picture Elias Ward, drifting alone above Earth. Picture the thin blue line of atmosphere, holding back the vacuum of space. Picture the stars, ancient, distant, burning with silent truth. And remember his message. Remember the breath. Because ultimately, the cosmos does not send warnings or prophecies, but it does reveal patterns, and it does remind us of our place in its grand design. We are fragile. We are temporary. We are extraordinary. And we hold the rarest treasure in the known universe: a living world. If you want to keep exploring mysteries like this, stories where science meets wonder, where the universe speaks through silence, and where every question leads to a deeper truth, then subscribe to StarBound Discovery. Because out there, in the dark between the stars, there are still messages waiting. Messages we have not yet heard. Messages that may change everything. And we will uncover them, one story at a time.